Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to the Canadian Cattle Farmer here in Chilliwack, British Columbia. A little bit of a bittersweet day for us today. Our last task that we have here on the farm is to get all of this maize, all of the corn harvested, put into some silos, into some bags and converted into silage to leave the farm in the position to have a decent amount of feed to get through winter and to be able to leave the farm in the capable hands of someone else. I'm not sure if this is going to be our very final episode. We'll see how long it takes us to get this done. It is going to be a bit of a mammoth effort. We do only have our harvester and a couple of trailers. I will look to see how long it takes. We might see if we can call in a contractor to come and give us a hand, see if they have some equipment which might be able to work with us. So I'm excited to get it done. I'm a little bit sad to see the map go, see this series wrap up, but it is time to start planning off for some new ventures into the new year. So we need to get it finished. And we need to get it done. But before we do that, we've got something else we need to go and do. Now you're probably wondering, why on earth are we in the stock truck? Well, it's been a quiet couple of months on the farm. Not much has been happening, except for keeping the animals well fed and looked after. And part of that is some of our cows have gone along and had some more carbs. So we're going to get these transported over to the other pen, get them out of here, and go and put them over where we're looking after the other ones. So there we go, you can see we have got these Holsteins here, and if I have a look, there is 48 of them total, I think, or there might actually be 50. We can only move 48 with this trailer, of course. Let's just go and have a look. Yes, there is still a couple sitting there, so we will head on over, take these ones over to the other yard, and then we'll come back and get the last couple. Like I said, it's a little bit frustrating having this trailer, but it is what it is. We've set ourselves up this way right from the start. Normally it's worked out alright, but it was just when we first bought these cows, we should have just gone with 48 of each, but I'm not going to complain about having more. So we'll get these over. We've got enough feed and everything all set up for them to just get into it. And we must be getting very close to being able to bring some of the other younger animals back over here, and they will be starting to produce milk soon. So that'll be an exciting development for whoever takes the farm over from us next. Right, so we've delivered the first load of 48 and we're back over here with the last two. You can see there, we'll get them moved into the barn. And there we go, that should see us now with an extra 50 cattle over here, an extra 50 cows, so that's good. That means we're going to become very self-sufficient over time as the farm starts to grow. Some of our cows are up to 43 months old, so they're very close to being 4 years old, which is getting on the upper edge of the age of them, so we might be looking to wanting to replace some of them soon anyhow. There you go, you can see 43 months old, and we've actually got the Brown Swiss and Holsteins are both very close to reproducing as well. These 50 Holsteins have already reproduced, so yeah, looking forward to seeing what might happen with them in the future. But you can see up here we've got another 200 head ready to go as soon as they're old enough to head on over and start milk producing and earning some more money. The other thing that will be there ready for the next person is the clover here over this side is actually ready to go, and we've also got 2 fields of grass which are also ready to harvest, or near to ready to harvest. One of them's ready to go, the other one is very close. And this little bit of grass here that we've mown and baled on a few occasions. So still some tasks to do before winter sets in and making sure there is enough feed on the farm. But that's the main little things we wanted to do to start off with. The main task obviously is to go and get over and started in the maize field and the corn field and getting that put into some silos, getting made into some silage. So let's head on back over, get everything pulled out and go and get started. So we've got everything out of the sheds all hooked up and ready to go. Everything's serviced, full of diesel here in the forage harvester, which is good. We've got the 2 tractors set up on the trailers, Kubota and the John Deere, pulling those. I'm just trying to remember from last time whether we had an issue with the width of the John Deere with the blower and unloading into that. I was going to use the New Holland, but I do know we've had issues with the width of that one. And that could be one of the other options, is maybe, seeing how we go, we could lease a 3rd trailer and run the New Holland on that. But these are our setup for now. Now, I've already got the auto drive pretty much configured. So just take a look here, we've got field 134 entry and harvest or fill are our 2 points. So I'm just going to turn that on. Hopefully it can't go anywhere because it's going to get stuck behind the forage harvester, which it has. So that's good. We should be able to now try and do the same thing here on the John Deere. And that should mean that when we get over to the field, everything will be ready to go. So let's just go through, put this onto the combine mode, which we've just tabbed past. There we go. 134 entry and harvest or fill on there. Press go on that, and hopefully it's going to get stuck in a similar sort of spot. Might even try and push it in front of the Kubota. Doesn't matter which one's first. as long as they both get over to the right point to unload. So let's jump up in here. What we might do, I was going to put it onto course play like we often do. We might just start driving the first little lap and see how things go with the auto drive. Just to keep an eye on it from that perspective, let them both get over here to unload and we'll just see how things go, whether we can get things up and running first time or whether we might just have to make some fine adjustments. But here we go, let's head on over to the field. It's not too far to go at all. Now the entrance is for field 134 entries just past the house. I know previously we might have been coming in and turning in on the grass here and going in that side, but the actual entrance for the auto drive course that the equipment is going to be using is just here on our left. So we will come in here and make a start. Now I love this corn texture. If anyone's interested, BenGFS released this and I've gone and put it in just on this map. You can either do it as a replacement texture for all your corn, or as I was only doing corn on this for maize, I decided we'd do it this way for just this map and then do it on the map files. So let's get things turned on, get it lowered down. Here we go. Let's go and see if we can get our trailer in position next to us to start loading. Quite yet, I'm just wasting the first little bit. Let's go and have a look. We do have the combine already set up. There we go, we're into it. Field 134 entry is our choice for the combine, the harvester, and looks like yes, we are starting to get some there into the wagon, which is good. It's a good start. Right, let's head on around. I'm curious as to how full this is going to be and exactly how far around the field we get with this, because we are going to have a super huge amount of maize come off this field. It is going to be pretty epic, but look at that. I'm enjoying these textures with the weeds and everything growing in underneath the grass, the greenness of it, how dense and thick the crop is. It's pretty cool. Let's have a look. That trailer's starting to fill up pretty fast already, and we're not doing the best job trying to keep things in line, but there we go. Let's carry on. We'll head on down this way, see how far we can get before it fills up. We'll be interested then to see what happens with the trailer and how it gets itself out of the field. The other thing I should do is adjust the pre-cool level for these auto drive so that the next trailer is already sitting here ready. In fact, it's on its way, which is good, so that's a good sign. Hopefully means that by the time this one gets full, the Kubota is full, John Deere will be here ready to go. The first trailer's full. It decided to drive through the crop, which is just one of those things auto drive does at some stages, particularly when you're opening a field up. But we have the John Deere here beside us now. They look like they might try and go up beside us. I don't know how long they're going to be able to stick there for though, because as we go around this corner, we're going to run out of room. Interesting though, we haven't even really done one pass on the field, and that's the shortest length that we've just run along, and we've already filled one trailer. So this is going to be quite interesting. What will be most interesting actually is whether we can keep the trailers moving or whether an extra trailer would allow us to keep going. There you go, you can see the Kubota just running along the road back down into the yard, so that's good, and everything else seems to be working. So we'll carry on, we'll get this one full, and then we might see about heading over and seeing if they've both managed to unload into the blower or not. Well, there we are, that's the second trailer full and heading straight through the middle of the field to get out. Like I said, once we get the headlands opened up, it should be a little bit easier, but when you look at how far we've made around the field, maybe, no, we're not even halfway. We'd have to have done fully down that side and got to this corner to know that we're definitely over halfway. So this is going to be a bit of fun. Right, let's head on over to the farm and see how they get on with unloading into the silo. Well, believe it or not, the Kubota got here and is running no problems. It couldn't unload though because the engine on the tractor wasn't running. So while it got into the right spot to start unloading, of course, we had to have that tractor running to be able to blow the chaff, the maize, up into the silo. But that's a good start. Everything's working out on this side. We'll just have to wait and see when the John Deere gets here whether that is going to work too. But if this is the time it's going to take to unload and get back and forth, either a third trailer or a third or a second combine or harvester might be the option. But we'll let this unload, we will see how it goes. What are we down to? 26,000, so still quite a bit to come out of there, and we'll see what happens when the John Deere gets here. Right, here comes the John Deere, and we still have just under 20,000 litres left in this one. Obviously if it was unloading straight away as soon as it got here, it would have been a completely different story, might have been further finished. So we'll let them try and get a couple of cycles done before we figure out whether we can handle a third trailer whether we're going to get a bit of a log jam here at the unloading end of things, but it's not going too bad. Wait and see once this one here gets going. But assuming that the John Deere gets into position without any issues, like I said, I'm just worried about the width of those. You come back and stand here, look along the back of the trailer. It does stick out quite some distance from the unload trigger, so we'll wait and see what happens. Alright, there's the Kubota emptied, heading off. Let's have a look here. Cross our fingers. So far so good. Is it going to get past and start unloading? No, it missed the trigger. I wonder why that was. The Kubota managed to find it on the same path. Interesting. Right, let's see what happens. I wonder if it goes around and tries to do it again. Well, I'm not sure what was happening then. I've just forced it to unload and it wouldn't unload, and now it seems like it's detected the trigger. So, what I might do is stop that unloading, go around the block, and go and see if we can get it to unload on its own. But it seemed to be something that we needed to force it, so I'm not sure what was going on there, but hopefully that's going to have solved the problem. So we've come around the corner, we've advanced it, so it wants to go to the harvest store fill again. Let's go and see if this is going to work. Fingers crossed it does, or else it is going to be a very, very long harvest. We might have to look at something else as a solution, but let's see. I'm going to get to this point and find a trigger. Yes, it has. Look at that. Phew. I was a little bit worried, not going to lie. I thought we were going to be really in the stick there, but that's all working. So let's jump out of here. We're going to head on back over to the field and get things up and going, and cross our fingers that this will keep going as well. Well, we're back underway, a few teething problems. We've got the John Deere here behind us, not the Kubota. The Kubota didn't want to play ball. It was having issues with the ditch and the trees and everything around the side. It ended up going back to the field entrance. It's sitting over there now waiting for us. Hopefully things are going to work out themselves out once we've got the headlands open. I've said it a number of times, using course play, auto drive, anything like that. Once you get through the headlands and once you get working into the field proper, you don't have quite so many issues as you do when you're getting a field opened up. But I guess that's probably par for the course and probably pretty accurate for real life. Doing this kind of work is certainly probably the hardest part. Once you get into the middle, it's everything gets a little bit easier. But it is what it is, and we will make do with it. Just pleased that we were able to get the unload working there for the John Deere, and that the Kubota seemed to work on its own without any dramas. But that is the John Deere full? No, still got some space in it. I thought it might have been full. It's just on the corner there, waiting for us a little bit. We'll catch up here. It would be handy to have the simple inspector tool, so I knew how full each vehicle was. There we are, the Kubota found its way over here after the John Deere, and I am just admiring these textures. Look at that, with the crop destruction turned on, and you get these tyre tracks, everything like that, the weeds, the grass, everything that sits in between these rows after they're harvested just looks really, really nice. Much better than the corn stubble you get when using the other in-game textures. So I'm really impressed with how that looks. Definitely if you're doing a lot of maize silage, I highly recommend getting it. But I think what we're going to do, we're just going to work on getting these fields opened up a little bit. Just looking at how full this trailer's getting already. I think having another tractor running, something like that, could be the best option for us. But we'll get the field opened up and see what happens. Once we get into some up and down rows, have to worry about turning around and things like that, we might find that it works a little bit better. We'll also be a bit closer to the yard too and have better access in and out of the field, so that could help out in the future. But there we go, that's the other one full, and the John Deere's probably only just got over to the yard. So we'll let them carry on and do their things, and we'll get the field opened up. We'll catch up with you once we've done that. Thought I'd better come over here and just double check that everything was working. The John Deere, as you can see there, must actually be very close to being empty. Just going to have a look and see. 10,000 litres, so that's emptied out alright, and the Kubota is over here as well. So looks like we're going to get everything up and going with the unloading pretty well. So I think once we get the field opened up and the tractors can get in and out without having to worry about driving on the crop, they have some areas they can drive around within the field, things will be a little bit easier. Yeah, celebrate small little milestones, right? They've successfully made it once around the field, and I think, looking at that trailer, it is pretty close to full. That'll be our 5th load to go out of here, and they're about 34,000 litres each, I think, so it's over 150,000 litres of chaff going out of here. And we've only managed to go around the field once, but that's pretty good. Now things should get much easier now that the tractors and trailers can pull up right beside us, just like they have there. Keep an eye exactly how long it takes for the John Deere to get back over here to us, and then we'll make a decision on whether we get a third trailer or not. I'm thinking that it's going to be our best solution to keep the forage harvester moving. It's just got too much downtime at the moment. Already feels much easier having the tractor running along beside us versus having them trying to squeeze up right behind us there. This is boding well for an improvement. Fingers crossed everything's working out. We'll just wait and see if we can get this one full before the Kubota gets back over here. That will be my guess. This will be full before the Kubota empties and starts heading back, in which case we will go and organise a third trailer, because I think that's going to be the best solution. The question will be whether we can use the New Holland tractor on it, whether we will be able to get it close enough to the unload point. I'm hoping we can. I seem to remember we did, because I'm pretty sure we've done silage without having this John Deere. So we should be able to, but we'll test that out. Hope that the trigger on the blower is big enough, but we'll just keep an eye here. We're getting close to full, 70% I reckon, so we'll probably get to just the end of the field here, about what we filled up on the first trailer, and that will tell us what we're going to do next. And there we go, that's full, and no sign yet of the Kubota. And in fact, it still has 10,000 litres to unload, so I think that is a done deal. Let's go and sort ourselves out another trailer. And there we are, all set up with an extra trailer. Now this one's actually a little bit bigger. There was one slightly higher. Spin around and see the John Deere coming in. This one is a slightly bigger trailer, only by about 3,000 litres. So not a huge difference, but I'm sure it will make all the difference in the long run. So we've got that up and running. Kubota's just getting back over to the field. Yes it is. So we'll go jump back into the forage harvester, get back up and going, and see if we can keep these guys all moving. We're back over in the field and we're up and underway again here in the forage harvester. We've got the Kubota running next to us, the New Holland is sitting over there waiting, and the John Deere is currently unloading and won't be far away from queuing over there as well. So I think we'll jump into a little bit of a time lapse here, try and get this field opened. I want to take 4 headland passes off, and then we're going to try and maybe put a worker on the forage harvester and see if we can get into a little bit of a routine. But let's get these headlands opened up and see how we get on. So we'll catch you in just a little while. Well, that is our 4 headland passes all done and dusted. That has gone incredibly smooth. I've actually been quietly surprised with how well it's gone. I was expecting to have all sorts of issues. Once we got that first headland opened up and the tractors were able to get in and around, things have been much easier, and it's actually been going at a really good cadence. We haven't had too much waiting as we've got onto these further rows. I think the main issue has been when we've been further down the other end of the field. Things have just been a little bit further away and just a little bit harder to get to and just take a little bit longer. So had a little bit of delay there, but when we've been at this end of the field, things have been just about like clockwork, and we've almost had tractors waiting up ready for us to go straight away once the tractor in front's full. But now we're on to our up and down rows, and I've actually decided that we're going to go this way across the field. It's a little bit shorter, but it's probably enough to fill a trailer just about each pass, which will work out pretty well. It will also mean that as we get further and further away from the entrance to the field, we'll actually be opening it up as we go. So this is where we're going to open up the field. But the other issue we're going to run into very, very soon, in fact it could happen before this load gets back, is we're going to be full in the harvest store. It is just about chocker, which is 700,000 litres already, and we've only just taken the headlands off. Probably a third of the field maybe in these headlands, maybe a little bit less, I'm not sure. But that means we are going to have to move over to putting the rest into the bags, and in fact there we go, that is that done. So what I might actually do, we might just turn that off while we're here. I'm going to jump in with the Kubota. We will ride over with them back to the unload point and go and see what's happening over there, because like I said, I fully expect that we are going to be out of space and there'll be tractors queuing up wondering where they need to unload. And as I suspected, we've got a bit of a queue lined up there. In fact, it can't have taken much of the New Holland. It looks like it's still got quite a bit in it up the front. So what we're just going to do, I'm just going to turn this auto drive off so we're not paying someone for doing nothing. Get the engine turned off on that one. I'm going to go jump in the John Deere and do exactly the same, and we'll have a look in the New Holland and see how far we are away from emptying that trailer. But might be about half full. Let's just go have a look. Well, there we are. It's still 60% left here in the trailer, so I think that is going to do it for the harvest store. It will take a little bit more as it processes. We've got 750,000 litres in there, but there'll be maybe 2,000 litres sitting in the blower, 1990. So it needs to chew that up before it will go any further. Now we've got a couple of options. One is to go and start doing the bags, which we did over next to the slurry pit, which I think we will do first. We could build another harvest store, but I think that would be a little counterintuitive. What I could do rather than building a second one is use the production revamp mod and actually buy more storage and upgrade this one to have more storage. So I think what we're going to do is go and move over to doing the bags and fill those up first. I think we've got 5 bags in the shop that we can use, and that'll take maybe 1.25 million litres, I think, which will give us a good 2 million litres. If we can fill all those up, then we'll come back here and put some more in the harvest store. But I said at the start, I didn't know whether this would be a single episode, be our last episode ever here on Chilliwack or not. As it is, I think we will be back. This sounds like a really good spot. Pause proceedings, wrap up this episode, and come back in the next one fresh, ready to start doing some bagging of the silage. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.